Buongiorno beaches. So we're going to be doing something a little bit different today, and we're going to be covering something current. And I'll give you a hint before I straight out tell you. That's right, we're going to be covering the Chucky series. I'm a huge fan of Chucky. I have been since I was little, and I actually have this costume because I have a burlesque act where I try to murder the audience with my costume pieces. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but once a month, every month since childhood, I've had nightmares about Chucky. I actually just had my monthly Chucky quota dream, and in it was Chucky and Candyman had a little baby that they were trying to take from me, and in my dream I thought it was my baby. But when I woke up, I started to believe it wasn't my child. The child was black, which I'm not opposed to having a black child at all. All babies are like blessings and miracles and all that shit. But it made me think that it was the baby that was in the first Candyman movie, and I had actually stolen him, and Chucky and Candyman were trying to save him from me. And it just made me think like maybe I had lived long enough in these dreams to see myself become the villain. But anyway, yeah, Chucky and Candyman, the crossover we didn't know we needed. Let's just get right into the episode. I was going to give a background on like how Dom Mancini is kind of the spearhead of all this. But I feel like if you're a fan of the show, you already know all the information I'm going to give to you. So we open with a nice little first-person point of view throwback, kind of an homage to Halloween. We come to present day with a close-up of Chucky's face while Billie Eilish is singing Copycat. This teenager, Jake Weber, played by Zachary Arthur, is trying to get a deal on him. The character of Jake is a teenager who lives in Hackensack, and he's also openly gay. He's written very, very well, too, and I realized that being gay or
LGDP, LBG.
I always forget acronyms. I can't ever remember names or acronyms. I want to say the LOBGYN community, but I feel like that's not right. Being a part of the LGBTQ plus community is not a monolithic experience, so it's nice to have some diversity in terms of how you play a character. On the way home, Jake listens to a podcast by his school crush, Devin, played by Bjorven Anderson. In the podcast, they mention Charles Lee Ray, how it's his hometown and his parents were murdered there. There was actually a book written about Chucky, and in it they mentioned that his mother was a little person, but I believe in the series she's not played by a little person. Jake makes really cool doll art, and he actually brought Chucky home so that he could use him for the sculpture. Jake has a sad home life. His mother apparently died in a car accident. His father is played by Devon Sawa. His father is an alcoholic who works as a mechanic in a very homoerotic place called Lube. He really walks around with that on his chest. But he does have a kitty named Binks. And apparently Chucky is a dog person. While Jake's dad isn't really altogether unsupportive of his art, he doesn't really show a lot of interest or encouragement. That night, Devon Sawa's twin brother Logan comes by with his family, so he has a wife named Bree and a son named Junior. His son Junior is an athlete, and he keeps bringing up the fact that Jake is gay. Devon Sawa kind of snaps, and he tells him that Jake is too young to even know what his sexuality is. Bree excuses herself to go upstairs and use the restroom, but really she just makes a secretive call to what we assume is her lover, while Chucky is R. Kelly trapped in the closet. I'm thinking they're going to reveal that Bree is having an affair, and they're going to think that it's really edgy what they've chosen. It's probably going to be one of the teachers or one of the young students. And if they had any cojones, it would be with the Chucky doll. The cat goes missing, by the way. After the family leaves, Devon Sawa destroys the sculpture, and the only doll marked as safe in the massacre is Chucky. The next day, Jake checks the market value on Chucky and sees he's very valuable. So he takes him to school to make sure his dad doesn't destroy the doll. He gets on the school bus and he sees his crush, Devon. I really should have learned Devon Sawa's name, because now this is going to be confusing. There's a little scene where Junior's bitchy girlfriend, Lexi, is introduced. Who cares about her? We're taken to one of the scenes from the trailer where Chucky stabs the frog heart. The entire class is given notifications for a GoFundMe for Jake that Lexi started. But this teacher doesn't really take any crap, and when the bell rings, Jake asks if the teacher could hold on to Chucky because he doesn't fit in his locker, and then she has a little talk with Lexi, and then goes to get the principal and leaves Lexi alone with Chucky. I don't know why people put their backs toward dolls. Like, I don't care what doll it is. I don't care if it's a Polly Pocket. I am not turning my back on you, ma'am. He creeps her out by blinking at her with his Rihanna 2008 bob haircut, which causes her to drop her phone. The nice teacher puts Chucky in a cabinet and he doesn't murder her like he did to Dwight Schrute's nanny. I remember seeing this meme that said you should laugh in places you've cried to change the narrative. Maybe this is Chucky changing the narrative and not murdering in places he's murdered. Later that night, Jake tries to sell Chucky on Al Gore's internet and gets a call immediately from Rhode Island. I didn't even know anybody lived in Rhode Island. Comment down below if you've ever lived in Rhode Island. It's obvious that it's Andy Barclay on the other end searching for Chucky's whereabouts like an obsessive husband in a Lifetime movie. A suspicious Jake does some Googling and sees the deaths associated with Chucky. Chucky finds his way back to Jake the next morning, and Jake, like Karen before him, checks to see if he has any batteries. He doesn't, and he promptly throws Chucky in the trash. Baby, if that didn't work for a badass like Kyle, then it's not going to work for you. The next day at the talent show, Lexi and her middle part are hosting because she has no discernible talent of her own, so she tries to embarrass Jake. Chucky appears, and in a scene almost reminiscent of Anthony Hopkins in Magic, Chucky convinces Jake to make his way to the stage for a little ventriloquist act. He pulls out her phone and starts reading her search history, which is really, really unfair. My search history is super embarrassing. Is Mr. Feeney still alive? Oh, he is. So I don't really like doing that because I once Googled Gavin MacLeod and then he died the next day. And I really feel like I caused it.
Hey, look what I found.
My phone!
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant!
Lexi's little sister Caroline is watching Chucky from the audience and she's pretty enthralled. Chucky can't help himself. He drops some F-bombs from the stage, which gets him kicked off. When Jake gets home, Luke, who's obviously been drinking, pins him up against a wall and starts yelling at him in an argument that's clearly about more than just what happened at the talent show. He goes back to his whiskey only to see that it's actually empty, and then the lights go out. He goes downstairs to check the... what is that? At this point, I think I'd rather be up against Chucky. What's about to happen is actually like one of Chucky's greatest kills ever. Jake unfortunately has to see this, and we also have to see an epilepsy-inducing scene of Chucky sneaking up on him. The police come to the scene and question Jake about what happened, which can only look like an accident. They also ask him about the break-in at school where the only thing taken was Chucky, which is strange that they keep that detailed of an inventory.
Hey, Jake. So you're gonna come stay with us now?
Thank you.
Can I get you anything? Are you hungry?
Bree and Logan really do seem to care for Jake, and I hope nothing happens to them. When they're alone, Jake does his best Karen and demands Chucky talk to him, but Chucky slaps Jake with his tiny pimp hand. Chucky finally comes to life and reveals what happened.
I didn't want him dead.
What did you think I was gonna do? Ask him for a hug? He got what he deserved. I know an asshole when I see one.
After my mom died, he couldn't deal.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the cat.
I will remember you.
So I'm really excited to see where the series goes because Chucky is still sociopath, but he seems really anti-bullying. A part of me thinks that maybe we're actually going to start rooting for him now, which seems kind of strange. And I'm not really sure how much I enjoy seeing his backstory. I feel like it really humanizes him, and I would rather just be afraid of him. But all of the other characters seem really three-dimensional so far, with the exception of Lexi, but I think she's written that way so that you won't root for her. In terms of the design of the doll, it's much better than the recent history of it. I remember seeing a documentary about the making of the doll, and they showed a clip of Chucky's different heads. They talked about how as the movie progresses, he becomes more and more human, and each head was different. It showed him the beginning where he was very plastic looking, and then over time, like, he starts getting a receding hairline and his eyebrows become bushy and he starts getting a 5 o'clock shadow. That picture alone of seeing the doll's age was very scary to me, because I can see where his face is no longer plastic and it's starting to look realistic. And I noticed that in the movies they don't really do that anymore. So we're gonna move on to episode 2. That's right, you're getting 2 for 1 in this episode. I'm trying to build that subscriber count. I'm 1 away from 300. How much do you want to bet someone's going to unsubscribe? Just to be mean, just to hurt me. So we open with a mini Charles Lee Ray Candy Manning himself in 1965. And again, I'm not sure if I want to hear Chucky's backstory. I feel like I like a mysterious killer. When Rob Zombie starts telling me about Michael Myers' dreams about his mother, that's kind of when I stop caring. He's invited by Lexi's side piece Oliver to a party.
I'm having a party tonight, and I think it'd be really good for you if you came.
A Halloween party?
Yup. Costumes, Coronas, and candy. And we're not talking M&Ms.
I don't have a costume.
It's alright. Just bring Chucky.
I get so nervous when I get invited to parties. I don't even like to throw parties. I'm afraid no one will come. Back at the mansion, the maid gives Chucky the wax on, wax off, and this apparently angers him, because when she goes to restock the knives from the dishwasher... Wait, is this how you all store your knives? So we cut to the opening credits. I didn't mention this, but in the first episode, the title card was made out of doll parts, and in this one, it's made out of knives. I'm afraid if I play the theme music, I'll get a copyright strike, but it is very reminiscent of the circus music that was played during Child's Play 2. Jake and Junior arrive home from school to see what's happened, and fortunately for Chucky, it looks like an accident. Devon's mother is actually the detective on the case, and when she sees Jake, she's starting to squint. But Jake knows who really did it, and Chucky denies it.
You killed Annie. Come on, man. Think. Why would I kill Annie? You and me, we only kill people who have it coming. Accidents happen, Jake. More often than murder, and way more often than murders committed by supernaturally possessed dolls. That's just basic math.
And he actually sounds believable.
And let me remind you that I could have killed anybody in this house during the last week at any time, including you.
Later that night, Junior sneaks into Jake's room and sees that Lexi's social media is on his laptop, and her last name is Cross because you have to bear her. Jake catches him, and when Junior leaves, he puts his little ear to the door, and he hears people talking, and then Jake gets punched. Lexi has to babysit her little sister while her parents go to a party. Lexi's little sister Caroline is showing off her little artistic hand, and this is actually cute. She could probably get $25 for that off of Etsy. Junior decides that seeing a dead body earlier in the day is not enough to stop him from going to a party and showing off his little last-minute DIY costume. And we've all been there. You've wrapped yourself in toilet paper and said you were a mummy. You were just using what you had in front of you. Jake has no intention of going to the party, but Chucky is MIA, and Jake knows exactly where to find him. In a nice little homage to E.T., Chucky puts together the laziest Hello Kitty costume ever. Chucky knocks on some lady's door because he wants to get his jagged edge on and find out where the party's at, and in exchange for the information of where he could find Oliver's party, he gives her an apple, which this ends up eating. Like, who eats things little kids gave to them? Their fingers are always up their nose and in their butts. Chucky is chilling with Caroline playing video games. I love these curtains and the recessed lighting. People don't get how much a good window treatment really pulls a room together. Chucky is trying to manipulate Caroline like he tried with Andy and Tyler and succeeded with Alice. He eventually finds Lexi and Junior upstairs trying to have sex. Chucky hides under the bed to give Lexi some double penetration, but he's a little rusty and keeps missing. Jake and Devin's 7 minutes are up and they exit the closet to see Lexi cosplaying as Jake's dad's murder. This scene is so unbelievably cruel that I don't want to show it to you. She's wearing his dad's lube. I'm sorry. She's wearing his dad's lube jumpsuit and her hair is like big and, you know, like she's being electrocuted. And yeah, this just, I don't know, I don't want to show this scene. It just really bothers me. Jake says to Devin he's going to make Lexi pay for this. And later that night, Chucky and Jake are having an FDR Fireside-esque chat where Chucky convinces Jake to murder Lexi.
Some people just deserve to die.
In this episode, Chucky mentions he has a queer kid, Glenn, and one of the things I've always liked about the series is that the continuity has been there. There's always a linear storyline. I'm really enjoying where this is going, and the conversations between Chucky and Jake make me wonder if this is the way he spoke to Andy when they were alone. But that's it. Those are the first 2 episodes. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it. If you love it, please consider subscribing. Bye!